Today we're going to be breaking down the brand new Lyrical Lemonade GBP music video with Central C and 21 Savage. There are lots of crazy effects in this video, and in the timeline right here I have about 9 of them that we're going to be breaking down in this video. Now before we hop into the video, my name is Jacob and I run the Tiny Tape shop where we sell editing plugins, packs, and a ton of other stuff that you guys can use to level up your videos. So if you're interested in any of those things, go check them out in the description below. So pulled up in the timeline here, like I said, we have the full music video, and then I took apart some clips that I want to break down that I think would be most essential for you guys to learn and I think are some of the coolest effects in the video. So jumping right into it, we're actually going to start with the hardest one first, but I'm basically just going to be showing you guys the concept of how to do it rather than showing you fully how to do it, because that would be like an hour-long video, and I'll put you in the right direction so you can learn how to do it. So essentially this scene is crazy, you guys, I'm sure you've seen it, where it goes in through the center of the car, the camera flies in through it, and then you see directed by Cole Bennett on this thing right here. Now you can do this super easily and for free. Let me put you guys on right now. You want to go over to this website right here called Sketchfab. Once you're in Sketchfab, you want to search up car, and you guys are going to have a bunch of 3D models of cars here. And this is where it gets interesting. You want to click downloadable and maybe try like interior. And you want to look at the top right to see if they're paid or free. For example, this ambulance here is free, as you can see. So you can click on it and you could see the full 3D model here. But what you want to see is if you can actually go inside of the car itself. I'm sure some of them will let you and some of them won't let you, but you want to be able to put a camera through it and get all of the details inside of it. It's just going to take a little bit of looking, but once you get those details, so it seems like this one has pretty much the full interior. You guys can see the stick and everything inside of here, and we're just going to have to put a camera inside of it, inside of After Effects. It doesn't have the greatest detail. Once again, I recommend you guys take longer to look. I've literally been on here for like 2 seconds. Pretty much what you want to do next is go over and hit download 3D model. And there's 2 ways you could do this, right? So if you're using After Effects, any version past 2023, you could actually drag and drop these GLB 3D files inside of After Effects and have the full 3D model inside of After Effects with all the textures on it to play around with. You can animate it, you can move it around, all that crazy stuff. Or if you want to use an FBX and convert it to an OBJ, you can bring that inside of a plugin called Element 3D, which gets a little bit technical and confusing. So we're going to go the easy route for this one. Once again, this interior isn't going to be as crazy as the one in the Lyrical Lemonade video because that one was made by a professional, custom made for the video. So I definitely recommend you guys take longer. I would look for 20 seconds on here. I guarantee you, if you look for like 20 minutes, you will definitely find something with a lot more detail. And if you're willing to spend money, you can get that instantly. So we're going to download the GLB file right here. And now that we have After Effects open, all we have to do is drag and drop this .glb file into After Effects. It's going to go up into our project here. Now just drag and drop it into your timeline. We're going to hit OK on all this. And you can see the car is there, but it's very, very small. So we're going to click on this arrow, go to transform, and just scale it way, way up so we can see it here. Now to play around with the orientation and everything, you want to go over to position here and move this down. And then you can play with the rotation and everything as well. Right now, where it gets interesting now is if you create a new camera, hit OK, make the car a 3D object. It already is. We'll turn on motion blur for it. We'll then change our view in the bottom right to 2 views, and then we'll change this one right here that we're clicking on to the active camera. Then you guys can see if you mess around with it enough, you can then keyframe it just like so. So we'll keyframe the position and scale, go a couple frames in, and you could go right into the backseat of the car. If you just look at this right here, obviously it's super low quality, but then you could add the hanging thing right there saying your director's name and customize it as well. You guys can see just like that. We have a similar shot. I would probably just put these closer together just like that. And then if you highlight these keyframes here, you can add keyframe assistant and easy ease this one out and then easy ease the last one in, and you'll get something like this going inside of the car. Or you could just put a regular easy ease on both of them, just like so. And yeah, maybe add some motion blur, some RSMB to smooth the edges. This is probably going to make it lag like crazy, so we're not going to put that on. But yeah, that's pretty much how you do that car effect. Obviously, you want a higher quality car model, and obviously you would zoom it like in further. Let me see if I can show you guys, like way further, and then have it go through the windshield to your next scene, and then have your scene as like a 3D thing through it, if that makes sense. So that's pretty technical, but I'm sure I give you guys the base. You can go out and find more information to learn the rest of it. Or if you want a full in-depth tutorial, leave a comment down below and I'll do a full breakdown on that. It'll be like a 2-hour long video, so let me know. All right, next here, we got these like mosaic, like blurred faces. This is like a way better example of it right here. This is a really cool effect and it's super simple to do, very stylized. I think Cole is amazing at doing stuff like that. Just taking simplified, stylized looks. So we're going to take this clip right here and apply it onto Central C and 21 Savage. We're going to make their faces just like the people in the background there. So I'm just going to scale in for the sake of the tutorial. And what we're gonna do now is we're gonna hold Option, click and drag our clip up, and we're gonna go over to our key tool under opacity, and we're just gonna draw a square around Central C's face, just like that. We'll start with Central C. Now we're gonna go over to Effects and we're gonna search up Mosaic. And if you guys already know how to use Mosaic or know how this works, let me put you onto some sauce so it's animated and it moves around. So we're gonna drag and drop that on. You can see his face looks dumb right now, but we're gonna fix that. We're gonna scroll down and turn the Mosaic to 150 by 150. And you guys can see we get more of that look from the video. Now, if you play it through, it just looks kind of static and you do want it to be tracked to him. So to track it, you're gonna go back to your mask right here and you're gonna turn on mask path and you're gonna click on the mask and then you're gonna watch the video and you're just gonna click and drag it to follow his face. You guys can see that follows it. It looks like it's kind of animated, but to actually animate it yourself, you can keyframe these and then have this one go down to 100 and then have this one go up to like 200 and then have this one go up back to like 150. And you guys are gonna see it's gonna be moving around a lot more, just like so, get more of like a glitchy effect. And it's pretty simple. I could show you how to do it on 21 Savage, but you guys just saw how I did it on Central C. So very cool effect. Next, we have this kind of like crash zoom in on the money. They did a really good job of making it look like a crash zoom, but it actually isn't. Maybe it is, but, and then we have her winking there. You guys can do this super easily inside of Photoshop. Pretty much, you just want to go ahead and take a screenshot of your image here. And we're going to count how many frames the wink is. So if we go with our arrow keys, so every 2 frames, it looks like there's like an animation of her eyebrow going down and then back up. And I think the way they did it too is they literally just compressed her eye. So we'll mess around with it in Photoshop. So essentially what you could do is literally just go to the lasso tool up here, highlight around her eye, just like this, hit Command, click on the layer, hit Command J, which is literally just going to duplicate the part that I had highlighted. And then we could turn this off, right? And then if we hold Command and click on this box right here of the highlighted eye part, we can then turn off the eye, right? Only have the original layer on there and then hit Generative Fill. And hopefully it like fills it with something to match. If it doesn't, then we might just have to use the clone stamp tool. That's a good enough job there. Turn this eye back on. So that's the original frame of the eye, right? And then pretty much we could literally just like, you guys can see right there. It looks like it's a partial wink. See it like goes down. And then you press Command T. And then if you hold Shift, you can even have it go down even more. So it looks like she's winking. Obviously, you'd like feather the edges or something. You could even go to your eraser tool here and turn the size down. Oh, crap. Click on the layer and then just like kind of, you know what I mean, blend it yourself like that. So it looks like she's winking. And then obviously, when you go back to like the original screenshot here, if I drag and drop this in, her eye is normal. And then you have the winking eye, and it's essentially just like compressing it and then bringing it back up. Very, very simple. You can do that on money. Very cool effect, very unique. I haven't seen that before except in this video. And then for the zoom here, it looks like a crash zoom, but I'm not too sure. So this could literally just be a static shot of the cart. And then they use like the transform clip, for example. So you go down here, you hit adjustment layer, you hit OK, you drag and drop it in. You go into effects and you put on transform. And then essentially you'd be adding a zoom, but this is a zoom with motion blur. So if you play it through, obviously there's no transform on it yet. You can see the edges get blurry, right? And then it fully blurs and it goes into like this. So you could fake this yourself, literally just by having a static shot of the cart, doing a transform zoom. When it gets really close, you just blur it and then you match cut it with a close up of the cart. Right, I think that's what they did there. Not too sure though. But yeah, let me show you how this transform thing works if you don't know already. You pretty much want to go down here. You want to unclick this because it's not going to use your project's shutter angle, and turn this up. This is going to make it really blurry. Just to show you guys, for example, we'll create a position. And we'll only go like 2 frames in to really show you guys, and I'll scale it up to like 200. So a very fast zoom for 2 frames. And if we go over here, you guys can see. Oh, I didn't even do the scale. Hold on. Let me make it 100 at the beginning and then go like 2 frames in and then make it like 200. If we go in between that, you guys can see, boom, you have those blurred lines that really adds like that zoom effect. And if I go ahead and like turn this down, you guys can see how much that affects the zoom there. It really makes it more realistic to if you're like zooming in on an actual camera itself. Next, we have these kind of like matte border effects. These are super cool. Essentially to create these, it's very simple. You would just grab like 2 clips from the video. So let's say I want to use like these 2 clips. I'll split up 21 Savage and Central C here. So I'll like do that. And then if you want this like texturized line here, I have a film matte editing pack, which has those inside of them. If you guys want to check that out, it'll be linked below. But you could pretty much just go on here and search film matte, and boom, you can get a line right here. That one's animated. There's these here. I'm going to go to tools, size, and make it large. Not really getting too much good stuff here. If you go to color as well, you can click on it and make it transparent. Oh my god, that's my editing pack. That's so funny. But yeah, let me just use this one as an example. So I'll copy it, and then for the sake of this tutorial, I'll bring it into Photoshop here. And essentially what I'm going to do with this, it's not going to be good quality. I'm just going to let you guys know that. Right, yeah, it looks really bad. I'm just going to use my editing pack. So if I drag and drop this one in here, it's the split screen one. Right, you guys can see just how fire that texturized line is. I'm just going to zoom in so it doesn't show the borders. The borders are sick, but we're just going to want the texturized line here. Then you go ahead and it says right here on it, you turn it into screen. Turn it to multiply actually. And then boom, you have that right down the center. You'll go on your clip right here. And if you want to make it texturized like before, you can go ahead and add noise. I think that will help a little bit. Right? You want to turn off color noise, obviously, but the noise inside of here isn't great. I like a little bit of it, but I like to stack with it with my film overlay. Shameless plug to another one of my editing packs. It'll be linked below. Once we drag and drop the grain inside of here, we're going to click on it, go over to effect controls and change this to overlay here. And boom, you guys can see that looks so much better than before and the after mixed with these two. If I turn, oh, not those two. If I turn this one off, this noise adds a little bit of texture, right? With just the overlay, but then the preset Premiere one like really helps it. Looks very, very good, especially with this split screen border here. You can put it on top, up to your liking. All right, next, I really want to cover these like stuff going on the lens. So he did a great job in this video. It reminds me of the movie The Revenant with Leonardo DiCaprio. So you got snow on the lens. Here you got when he kicks, there like water goes up on the lens. I'm not sure if you can really tell it from here. You can see like the distortions and stuff. And then here you get dirt on the lens. I think they did a fantastic job. I really love those elements there. I actually made a brand new editing pack that adds dirt on your lens. It's this pack right here. We're going to go ahead and drag and drop it inside of Premiere Pro. If you open it up here, you guys can see we get a bunch of different textures. And it's very simple. All you have to do is drag and drop them on top of your footage. You guys are going to see they're going to look like that. We'll go over to effect controls. And you just want to shift it to multiply. And you just want to shift it to screen here. And you guys can see how much texture is added to the borders, especially if we zoom out. You guys can see how much more depth is added. And if you want to go ahead and turn down the opacity as well, it also makes it a little bit cooler. Let's go over a couple other ones inside of the pack here. I really like the ones that are just like randomly scattered. Like we have these ones here. You can see the top left, the top right, and we're just press Command C, highlight these ones, Option Command V, make sure we paste the motion and opacity, hit OK. And you guys can see, boom, we have that one there. We get that one coming from there, and then the OG one. These just add so much texture to your videos, and the viewer wouldn't even know. But like, if you look at this, and if you add something like the grain to this as well, it can really take like your video to the next level and add a lot of those textures that I love and a lot of people love. And that's the tutorial, guys. If you guys enjoyed this, make sure to leave a like. Let me know if there's any effects in this video I missed that you guys want me to cover. Make sure to subscribe as well if you're new to the channel. We post editing content like this all the time. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the new video. Peace.